To reprint or not to reprint? That's not actually the question. The question is, if you bitch about it and throw up a crazy ass thumbnail, you're gonna get owned by the community. Outcast Haven podcast starts now.
Dude, I love our community. The fan page has won me back.
Yep.
They have completely won me back. For now.
It was a Willie Wallace type stance that page took.
Yeah.
Like there was I'm gonna thank you, moderators. You gave it like 2 really solid days. I had some great lines, enough that everybody I saw in our local fab community said something to me because they must have all read the comments. But to my local community, where was all my likes on those awesome comments? That's my complaint.
No, that was good fun. That was the most fun I've had online in a long time. Like that was just like we got to blow off steam, got to punish some really deserving people. Like it was just all good fun had by the community. It's great.
Yeah. I appreciated that it felt like it was a unanimous voice. Like a lot of those posts where somebody posts like something that would be quote unquote controversial, you'll get a handful of people who agree or think the same way or have the same mindset.
There's always that cult a little bit.
Yeah, this was not that scenario. I did not find a single person who was just like, yeah, good job. You did a good thing. It was like, oh no, this is going to end. And then maybe the best moment was the fact that you have all these comments, people fighting, arguing, screaming, yelling, and then just one little emote, just the eyes like looking sideways, the big eyes, and it was Chris Bewley, who is my Facebook hero in the fan page because Chris will answer questions. He's great about little things. Somebody was asking, oh, how can I get the cards? I need to see all the cards. I haven't been keeping up. And he said, I've got, he always drops little things. Oh, I've heard that that's going to be updated. The website is going to be updated. Who did you hear from, Chris? James, because you work there. The fact that he comes on those posts and doesn't say anything, but he's just like, puts the eyes up. You're like, oh yeah, they're seeing this. They see it at the office. They watch it, and they're good about it, right? They're always good about watching and responding.
Well, I mean, if your thumbnail is going to say LSS has failed the community, but probably check it out. Especially if you see that there's 150 comments on it, they're going to be like, let's pop in there, see what see what everyone's saying. Maybe they got a valid point. They don't. It's shit, but it's worth a peek.
I didn't click on the thumbnail. I wasn't gonna give that person a view.
I don't give them.
No, I didn't either. It's just horrible. Just horrible way. It's a horrible way to start a content career. Just right there. Nail, coffin, hammer. It's over. It was a good run while you had it. I think it lasted 32 seconds before the first comment hit from posting, and I didn't see anybody like personally attacking, and I didn't attack.
No.
Attack what?
So I hope I try to use intelligent rebuttals, which I know is a stretch for me, but that was my attempt. And another thing, and this is my best point of the whole reprint thing, of the affordability. It's TCG. This is a collectible card game. It's not meant to be cheap. It's not going to be cheap. His arguments were horrible. It's like me calling Ferrari and saying, "Hey, guys, I can't afford a Ferrari. I don't make enough to afford the Ferrari. You need to lower the prices. You are a horseshit company because I can't afford a Ferrari. I deserve a Ferrari."
It's like, no, they make cars for.
And Ferrari, and the crazy part is Ferrari actually controls the pricing of the market of their car. LSS has nothing to do what people sell the secondary market of a Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
Which, once again, I mean, I have multiple decks that don't run the card, and it's a good card, but it's not great. Crown
of all the times to be upset about the not getting the reprint, it's the set where you get viable options in lieu of. Like it's like where it's like every set that comes out that presents a deeper card pool for you to tap into is just more of not needing that card to fill out your, because like in Arcane, it was in fucking almost every deck because every deck had 95 options for their 80 card deck. Like it's going to make the cut. Like not really.
Yeah,
it's an exaggeration, but you know what I mean.
It's going down. I mean, it'll always be value just because it'll hold that. It's like that.
It's good. It is a good card. Yeah,
it's a good card. They're always going to have value, but I mean, at the same time, it may go down in 2 years just because it's going to level off, or it'll just flatline because, like you said, the card pool is going to be so big that there's just too many options that are going to have better synergies with your hero that you're going to play those over that because it doesn't synergize with a lot of heroes.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just going to say, I think the biggest thing to understand too is that people just have to find kind of where they fall in a hobby, right? I think that's the biggest misconception sometimes, is that everybody who plays the TCG should have access to every level of card in the TCG in order for it to be good. But people don't use that logic with any other hobby in the world. It's the only hobby. Like, I'm not mad when I go to buy minis and it's like, oh man, this pack is $50. They should make it 30 because I can't afford $50 all the time. It's like I have to pick and choose where my level lies. I will never play Warhammer because I don't want to take a second mortgage out of my home to try and keep up with the constant army buying. That's not the kind of hobby I'm into.
Like a better example would be like painting. Like you're getting into painting, right?
Yep.
But I can count on. Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to use something inappropriate. But like I have not heard you bitch once about the price of like my quality paintbrushes. Like you don't complain about my $100 set of paintbrushes because like it doesn't fucking matter. Like it's not something you're going to spend your money on. It's like they're not a shit company because they're not selling them for, you know what I mean?
Yep, like, exactly. There's the different levels of value, right? There's like and like currently I love to paint and I paint, but I always laugh because I joke with my wife all the time. She's always encouraging me in my hobbies, like, oh, if you need new brushes, buy new brushes. And I was like, I bought a pack of brushes from Hobby Lobby, and there are probably a lot of mini painters who would have a heart attack at the thought of using some cheap, $6 pack of brushes because they're like, oh, you need this kind of brush.
No.
But then other people get the fact that, like that I'm not somebody who, that's not something like I'm that far into yet. I haven't decided that this is something I'm committed enough to. It's like I enjoy doing it. It's fun to do, but I don't feel bad, and I'm not upset at a company for not selling me sable hair brushes for $4 a brush. They make a luxury product. I choose to buy the economical one. That's on me. That's not on them. And it's like I think there's such a misconception that just because it's a hobby that you want to play and there's like a competitive level. Well, guess what, guys? You can compete at anything. You can be a competitive Settlers of Catan player. You can be a competitive painter. You can enter competitions for everything.
Scrabble has competitions. I had no idea. Chelsea told me about it. I was like, that.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
I will say this hobby is so much cheaper than my last hobby. It's ridiculous. You go on a fishing tournament and you get you're throwing $5-6 jigs and you catch 6 pike in a row, which will happen in Minnesota, and you lose every single one of those jigs because they bite you off. You could throw $70 a lead in a matter of minutes, just gone. Buying plus and all the gas, the boat, like this is cheap. This is it's not the greatest example, but I'm just saying the pay to play. If I want to find better fish and better spots, I might need a $3,500 graph where $140 Vexlar flasher just ain't going to do it. But you can't bitch about the price thing. It's just the way the world works. It's free markets. It's all that good stuff. And
then it's
not a socialist country.
There was the second post. What was the second post? The second post was the dude that opened 6 cases or 6 boxes or whatever, and he only got 1. And I'm like, dude, that's a dude pissed at the pull tabs. Like he's fucking.
Only got
one
Command and Conquer.
Oh, I didn't even.
He's like, I can't believe like this is stupid. Whatever, I can't remember exactly.
I've never opened a Fable. I've been playing this game for 2 years. Out of all of us that I know, I've never opened a Fable, and I've opened as many packs and as many cases as the rest of us. I just sometimes get shit on. Who cares? I'm gonna keep open boxes, and one of these days, maybe the year 2032, I'll open that damn Fable.
It was a good week.
I think maybe the best point, like, and probably the last thing I feel like I need to say about it, but I thought one of the best points was actually Jared, who's been a listener and commented. We've talked back and forth sometimes, but he made maybe one of the best points, and he said the perception that by printing it would make it go down in price is actually a fallacy, because raise your hand if you got another place at a CNC's, if you'd quickly jump on TCG player and sell them. Yeah, that's what I thought. Nobody's going to raise their hand, because
I would
anybody who has a playset,
couple.
I'm tired. Yeah, I don't want to put them in two different decks and have to have a backwards card in one of them that I remember. Hey, just so you know, before the game I practice with somebody, just so you know, my backwards cards are CNCs. And I know that sounds insane to some people that you would never sell them, but it's a convenience thing. I'm lazy. It's the same reason people own 2 cars or people have multiple laptops in their home. Because sometimes, you know what? I need to do something on my laptop and somebody else needs to do something on their laptop. It's a luxury that I can afford, so that I'm going to do it. If I can afford to own 6 CNCs, I'm going to do it. That's my choice. So it's like, even if they reprinted them, so many players would just keep them. They like open.
I got 5.
See,
Yeah,
that's
I got
not
5
even
TNTs and 5 E-strikes that I've
had
pulled.
How many?
I'm not going to sell
How
them.
many Arcanite Skullcaps do you have?
I have 1 because I sold my original one.
I thought you said you
way
had
back in the
6
day.
and lost 1.
No, 6. I had 6 CNCs. Okay, This is
Skullcaps.
bad.
I was like, Jesus.
No,
Jason,
but the CNC that I'm missing is a first edition CNC that I'm missing.
Oh,
so it's a $240 card I can't find anywhere, and I just reorganized. Yeah, for first edition, for first.
I might need to just sell
but that's it's also the one that it has a dent in it because I play with my cards, so it's got a little dent in it. So I mean, it's probably not worth much, but perfect segue.
I'm not done.
We're not done with that?
I have one thing I want to say, because it's not even like because I feel like no matter what we say from this perspective, it's going to be you guys have the money or you guys have like the means.
If you have the money, you spend it.
No, I know. Shush, my point.
That's America.
Yes, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm 42 years old. I've earned the money. I made shit money in my life. I've worked my ass off to get to a point where I can afford CNCs. I've worked my ass off to get there. So if anybody wants to attack me for working my ass off in my life, having a side hustle, my really regular job, then go fuck yourself, because I've worked hard to get to this point. So I don't care what that point is. I worked my ass off to get here.
Cool. All right. So now to my point, which that was unrelated. I appreciated the tangent, but thank you for how hard you work, Jason.
And there's a lot of people like me.
I was just gonna say that it's not necessary. Like it's a nice to have card. It's not a card, like it's not like it's DBS where the $90 card is a card required to play certain decks, where it's like you need this promo card in order for Red Broly to function. That's not even remotely a part of this game. So the fact that people are getting butthurt about like how they don't have access, like, one, that's a lie. Save money. Don't get Caribou for 2 weeks, whatever it takes. If you are making minimum wage, prioritize a little bit. Like,
got a hilarious story about Caribou.
Maybe figure that out.
Coffee.
But what I'm saying,
Caribou's a coffee place, just so
everyone Starbucks, whatever. What I'm saying is that this is such, you can't say LSS has failed the players.
Yeah.
Because they have already provided us an amazing game with good core distribution of their card sets. Like I've never played a game where everyone's had so much access to everything. Yep. Sorry, there's a handful of cards that are $60. Oh no. Fucking don't ever play any other game ever, or you're gonna be real butthurt. Like
I just got to say something funny.
Yeah.
So this is like 15 years ago. I'm a young banker, earning not much, and a lady sits down at my desk and says, spending too much money, I need help budgeting. I'm like, you want me to look through your accounts? So I was like in shock. He's like, I will go through here and tell you where you're wasting money, but do you really? And I asked her, like, do you really want me to do that? Mm-hmm. She's like, yes, I'm spending too much money, I need help. I'm like, okay. So I open up her transaction history. There's a Caribou every single day. I said, so I just went down and tallied it all up. I said, because they have about $300 a month if you cut out your Caribou coffee and just buy coffee from the grocery store. And I am not lying. She's like, all right, thank you very much. And she got up and walked away. That was that whole transaction. I got to one thing on her budget.
I don't want to hear.
The easiest
I don't want
one.
to hear anything else.
And it was, I mean, she literally got up and walked away, and I'm like, this is exactly how this was going to end. Why did she think it was going to end any other way?
Why did I think it was going to go any other way than this? Yeah.
And I was a young, in my late 20s at the time, and yeah, she wanted nothing to do with me. So yeah, I love that you said caribou, because
that's funny.
Yeah, I just liked it because it's obviously like a Minnesota staple. Like caribou is the yin to Starbucks yang. Like that's the two things a lot of people hear. But I love it because it's like, yeah, just don't get caribou for 2 weeks. And I'm sure some people are like caribou meat. You guys, is that like a thing? You guys have to stock it? It's caribou is a coffee place. So I was just making sure they knew we didn't we weren't saying don't eat caribou meat because it's a luxury product.
So now
caribou, it's a luxury meat. That's a luxury.
I my segue, but I'm still going to use it. So since we were talking CNC, I have 7 decks ready to go for later today. I think 2 of them have CNCs. The other 5 do not, because we're going to go live in what, 3-4 short hours from now.
Yeah.
So make sure you listen to the whole podcast, then join us live. So get it in right away, drive somewhere far and just listen to it, drive around town, get your chores done for the day. Because if you didn't take the day off for Everfest, what do you even do? Like, who doesn't
I can make a lot of money in the morning, so I'm just I took a half day. That's fine. That's all I needed.
It's just a half day. I took the full day off. I went full day. I got to run around, grab a couple cases, and I am so excited to start cracking packs. I will say, I don't like all the cards coming out so fast, so early versus other sets. I did like a little bit of the shock and awe.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like hunting with the last couple sets where like we didn't know what the Fabled was until like release day.
Yeah, they did do a good job of like the thing.
We didn't know until we were sitting in Las Vegas and somebody opened it right next to us.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing about this set is they've kind of gone a different route, and this is an interesting, I think, talking point that I'm always interested in everyone's opinions on how they view this. But one of the things that I think they did a really good job on this set was adding like the extended arts and some of the special foiling, those kind of things I think are really important for the value of the boxes, because I know a lot of people's big gripe with last set was that, or Monarch, was there's just too much first edition, but there's no value in it, and then it makes Unlimited not worth anything because there's nothing different about it really. Then my thing is, I think that stores are more incentivized to get this product like sold as fast as possible, try to make their money back, get case tournaments going, stuff like that. And I think that the extended arts and things like that really help that process, and it will help this stuff clear the shelves, which means we'll be into Unlimited product faster, which is probably what you want. Is you want some demand on Unlimited when it comes around, because that's the biggest issue we've run into right now, is that the Unlimited product feels like it's just prize support, but nobody really wants it, nobody's really buying it. This set I think might be a little different because it supports so many classes, but
yeah,
I love the extended art. I like that that's kind of become a hunt thing. I'm still trying to figure out what cards even come in extended art, or what the rates are, because every time I think I know a card, I'm like, okay, so these ones and these ones, then somebody posts something, it's like, wait a minute, that comes in extended art. Like it's like
pulverize. Oh yeah. Sorry.
I just every time I see that kind of stuff, when you see all the class cards, anybody who plays multiple classes that had a bunch of them, it's immediately the Chandler Bing thing where it's like, man, I'm gonna miss being able to afford food every time I think about needing to get all so I like it. I like what they've done this set in terms of adding some rarity stuff. I think that's really good for the game, the value.
They're moving in the right direction with it, because like with the last sets, there just wasn't there wasn't that incentive there to keep buying more, or like honestly even prize support. I stopped taking packs. Like when it was, what was it? It was Arcane at it was at St. Louis Park. I was like,
Dreamers,
yeah, I'm fine. anyone want to?
Well, yeah. If the options are, I mean, that's the thing too. Is it does tell you about like what people's perceptions of Monarch and Tails was, for the fact that typically when you go to a store, stores will put out different products. They'll give you things. Some stores don't give you a ton of options. Shout out to B, whose store we'll be at, because B always is amazing with his price support. And in spite of the fact that, Arcane is out of print, which means there's none left in existence. It's, the rarest commodity on Earth. It's basically dinosaur bones at this point. Like, you just have to dig and dig to try and find a single pack of Arcane. B always puts out everything he has. There's no like packs off limits and price support.
Is everything.
Which is everything.
Every set.
Every set. He always has them all. But that's what's interesting is he puts out Welcome to Wraith, Arcane Rising, Crucible, Monarch, and Tails, and nobody is interested in Monarch and Tails packs. Nobody even wants to touch them. Everybody goes to the other ones because the other sets have staples or chase cards, things that you really want to get your hands on. And I think that's where, because even if you think about it, right, one of the only drawbacks to Crew is that the Fabled does kind of put you in a weird spot where it's like, if you don't play Guardian, you don't really care that much about it. And so it kind of becomes like the same issue that Library and Corsham have, where it's like, until there's a really good use for it, if you don't play that class and there's not an extent, why do you want it? Do you really care about? So even the Fable isn't a chase, whereas with like the first two sets, you're like, I want a heart or an eye. Yeah, I mean, that's
I think, but the best part of it to me is you have increased the amount of $5 to $10 cards.
Yes,
and that's we have not had that in Flesh and Blood since WTR, our Crew. There was a lot of $5 to $10 cards back then, but now it's legitimately, it's either $1.99 for Majestic or it's $10. You don't have a lot of that $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 cards that just fit. And with the extended arts, those are really going to fill a niche, because whatever people are charging right now, those are all going to be $10 to $20 cards. I hate to tell everybody that are asking $70 for them right now. Those are going to be your $20 cards, maybe $40 for the heavily played ones. But they're going to fall into
even
a great.
I don't think 40. I don't think there's going to be anything that I mean, outside like the legendaries. Legendaries, obviously that's different. But like for any of them,
I think your Majestic full arts, like a pulverize, if Bravo is heavily played, that's going to be a $40 to $50 card.
I think those full art. I think the full art Majestics are going to be the pricey ones. Yeah,
I was not considering Majestic full arts. I thought you were just talking about normal cards.
Well, yeah, the other ones I agree with you 100%, Dane. I don't think those are going to be more than $5, $10, $15, $20. And as always, we have the ridiculous prices that come out from the people on the other side of the world that live in the future and poster stuff for super expensive. I'd expect, like, I would never buy now. Obviously, we haven't opened our cases yet, so I got to open our cases. But then I usually wait a week or two till the hype train dies down, and then you start buying your cards to fill out your sets.
Yeah, the people over there are charging you because they had to travel to the future to get access to the cards so they could sell it to you. It's expensive to go to the future. The fuel is a lot. The DeLorean upkeep. Like, upkeeping a DeLorean at this point in time is hard, man.
All their free healthcare and shit. So sad for them.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus, let's not make this political, Dane.
Sorry. No, so I do. So I just actually delivered a bunch of just never mind.
So what will start dictating prices on cards, which I am, so we have never been market guys from the aspect of Wall Street. I would say we're market guys from a meta aspect. So
but Jason brings up a good point. It's a good segue into the fact that we're going to start doing we're going to put together a spreadsheet, and it's going to be
only going to charge $4.99. No, $4.90. I think he's $5. We're going to go $4.99.
Okay,
No, I got a great idea.
I'm just going to
6-minute abs. It's better than 7-minute abs. 1 minute left.
Dude, it's just gonna be a screen capture, and we're just gonna white out. It's gonna be the shittiest thing, but you're gonna be able to see all the prices. It's just gonna be a screen capture. You're gonna be like, does that say TCG? No, it's just white. Oh,
Michael's got paper company. We're just gonna tape a piece of paper with handwritten on the top of it. If I scan it, it'll be like a cockeyed scan, like when you get like a scan from somebody that has like a scanner from like 1996 that they use to give you a scan, and it's like cockeyed and smudged, and it looks like it was an overhead projector scan from back in the 90s.
Maybe some microfiche. So we're gonna come into what I think is like this will be the first full year of what I would call a meta marketplace, where the meta will start dictating prices of cards, and you might see older cards go up as people figure out what's working, especially since we're going to come into a very, very heavy ProQuest right into Indianapolis calling. So as ProQuest results come out, there's going to be cards that you're going to start seeing in every deck, and those values are going to go up, and that's something you got to pay attention to so you don't overpay for your card, especially if you're building a deck. There might be ideas where you have a deck and it's really close, and you might see like somebody put in one card that's like, oh, those three slots actually will make a difference, but it's going to make a difference for a ton of decks. So you got to watch it. I'm just really excited because so many events coming up already. They're announcing them much faster. I mean, unfortunately, New Jersey will not happen for me, but really thinking Indy will. But I do like the fact that if I want to go to New Jersey, I got 3 months to think about it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like they gave us time to actually think about it. So
flights are like 160 right now.
So speaking of New Jersey, this is an interesting thought, because this has been a point of discussion and some hemming and hawing and dissatisfaction in the community. What do you think about the fact? Yeah, just going to New Jersey in general. It's better than Cincy, but hey, they're going to the Super Bowl now, so maybe they'll
I do like Indy.
Indy's great, yeah. So
I was there for lacrosse, and we're going there again for lacrosse. Great place.
So the question is this: how do you guys feel? How do you guys feel about the fact that people are going to be able to get basically PTIs, not PTIs, but they're going to be able to play in the Pro Tour based on XP, but not based on ELO?
Okay, this is a good one. So I just had this discussion with Mr. Nick, the Body Gabbler, when we were playing on Tuesday at our local armory. So at first it was shitty, but we came kind of full circle on it. If your ELO is your only way to get there, and the only way to get to ELO is by going to callings and to big events, you've made your Pro Tours paid to play, because it's now it's a travel thing. So now not only do you have to buy a CNC, but now I got to buy a plane ticket on top of it. How the hell am I going to get
make
there?
Make sure that you're keeping your ELO up. Yeah.
So where XP rewards players that are grinding, and generally, so I'll use our own Minnesota's Chris Bates. He grinded the hell out of XP. He did very well in a bunch of tournaments, in the higher end tournaments. I mean, there was a ProQuest he should have won. I was standing behind him, and once again, this is the old when you watch somebody else play. When you watch somebody else play, we all become amazing players because you're not in that moment. I saw just an easy win for him that he didn't see, and he knew the deck better than I do. But because he's been playing so much, and because you're grinding, you miss something like that. It's the same thing when people chime in our videos. Oh, you missed this. I probably did. I probably did miss that. I make mistakes. We've seen pros make mistakes. It happens. Just, you don't always have to chime in. Oh, look what you did wrong.
Yes, you do. You do. It's the end.
A little bit of a tangent there. Sorry. I'm just saying the XP is, in my view,
how else do you feel important, Jason? How else do you feel like your life has meaning?
There is no other way.
There's no other
I'm
way.
sorry. I don't even know why I brought that up. I shouldn't have ever said that. But the
Shut
XP,
up and take it.
The XP rewards players playing a lot, which is good because it means you are in your local game shop grinding games. So I think there's some validity to it that you do get good players from it. So that was kind of what we came full circle. Curious what you guys think.
Yeah, I think if you just allow ELO, that becomes sort of a self-perpetuating thing. And I agree that you get like typically better players with like higher XP, because if I don't know, it would probably take a pretty isolated meta, and I know that our opinions on this have shifted a little bit, but just after what we saw with like the last highly competitive season, like the last calling season in Nats and all that, I think that I sort of had my opinions shifted on it in the sense that for the most part, the people that were there were all good players. Like there were definitely people that were there to have fun and not taking it as seriously. Like at the calling or at Nats specifically is what I'm thinking about. But I don't think
that was also top 400.
Right. But what I'm saying is, like, I think there was a bit after talking to a lot of these people and like playing against a lot of these people. Like, I think my opinion shifted from people that are total scrubs were getting in. Like, I don't think that's the case. I think that to get that much experience and be top 400, like, you have to, at the very minimum, like, know how your deck plays well enough to play well. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're just playing a bunch of games like total shit and then getting in. Like, just off of being around the game that much, you are decent enough to, you know what I mean? So,
yeah. I think the thing that is interesting about XP and not ELO and not like splitting it somehow or doing both options or trying to find a way to make it more satisfy more boxes to check is the fact that XP, while I think you have to go win, you have to do those kind of things, and it is top 100 in the world, I think. So it's not
it's not easy to get in.
It's not easy to get in there. I will say I do think I do wish, and I've said this before, that I think one of the things, and we've talked about this, I get COVID restrictions and stuff like that. I do think there's something to be said for the fact that there are still online armories that are doing like 6 rounds and people are earning like 3 XP per win. I don't think that people like that should be allowed to. I don't think that you should be able to, because armory, the whole point is, right, the armories are an integral part of what Flesh and Blood is, and their whole mission statement is playing cards in the Flesh and Blood. The community is a huge part of it, going and earning your spots at locals. But if somebody goes and plays all their locals and then goes home after their locals and they just have the freedom of life to be like, yeah, I'm just going to play a quick 6 rounder with some people, it's like they're earning XP. And yeah, they're playing games that aren't in their local armories either. And I get that not everybody has the biggest scenes and stuff, and that makes it hard. But it's like somebody was complaining because they had to drive, like this one mystified me. I don't know if you guys saw this one, but somebody was complaining because they have to drive 30 minutes to the closest armory. And I thought, you must not live in a major metro, because I drive 30 minutes to basically everything. Like,
armory store to me is the one by Dane, and that's 41 minutes from my house. That's the closest.
Yeah.
So
and that's
tomorrow.
Just
today we're gonna be
today. We're gonna do it later in a few hours. But I think that the biggest I think that people who do that should be rewarded, as opposed to somebody who just chooses, because realistically local armories are only 3 or 4 rounds, and that's just a time constraint of stores. You can only hold a 3 or 4 round armory in the evening on a Tuesday. You can't be expected to hold a 6 rounder, but then somebody online obviously has more freedom. And I think that
in these parts,
that goes against like what LSS stands for as a company, and that's kind of like against what they're looking to do. So my only gripe with XP is that if you want XP to be the thing that matters and you want people to grind for XP, make them go to the LGS. Don't let them sit at their computer desk and do it for 6 hours. Make them go to the LGS and invest their time and energy in the stores.
That's a solid point, just because stores can't even run double 2 XP tournaments. So Dane, for example, has a store 3 minutes from his house. They just canceled because he got for 2. So now it's down to 1. But it wasn't taken away from anything, because it was in a part of the cities that doesn't have as many games as the rest of the part of the cities.
Yeah, so he was just picking up another day. He was
right, just picking
running
up a
Saturdays
day
were his day, and then there was nothing in the North Metro really for
turnouts.
Tuesdays. And he was filling both days, and now Wednesdays are fucking dead, Not that.
Well,
right?
and
Which
but
is
like they're
bad.
just,
yeah,
Because to your point, Blake, because now oh, I can go there for 1 point, or I can go hop on and play these guys in Francois
yeah.
and whoop their asses because the French suck. And yeah, I said it. And oh god, I gotta say something controversial to get attacked every week. Okay,
you
so that's it.
do. You just do.
I
You
just
don't
have
need to
to.
try.
Just yes, thank you. So then I'm going to hop on there. So now I'm not going to my LGS because I can only earn 1 point on play anywhere, but I can go play halfway across the world at home. So yes,
Yeah.
very solid point. I agree 100%.
Because I think that's the de-incentivizer that's unfortunate. It's like at a local store, if they hosted 2 events and they were 3 rounds each, I would have to go 2 separate days to my LGS to play 6 to 7 rounds to earn 3 XP per win. Or in one evening, you can play from your computer for 6 rounds.
What is the downside? I'm sure it exists. I'm not thinking clearly. What is the downside to a second night of viral running?
So I was just going to bring this up.
What is it?
Why God, we were thinking alike right here. That's really scary for me and you to be thinking alike right there. I was just thinking, why are they getting penalized? If there is enough player base play an Armory 7 nights a week at that location and they can get 15, 20 people every night, they should be allowed to do that.
Why can't they? What is
I don't understand.
What is the
That's an LSS rule. LSS. Ask Chris Bruley. Hit him up. Chris, hit us up in the comments.
I am. That's what I'm asking is like what like
we don't know. That's just their
what's
rule.
the rash? I was hoping that you guys would be like, oh well, I mean it's probably because of this. But like I can't think of
because maybe some store
in the comments. Tell me what the negative is of that. Are they stealing customers from other stores?
Only running it 1 day a week, so that guy only gets one chance. I don't know. I think if you have the player base like we do here in the cities, in a store can draw it in. I agree 100%. They should be able to run it more.
The only thing I could think of would be like then they're stealing customers from other stores who are running their one tournament a week on that night. But also
free market. They treat me better, so I'm gonna go there.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. I think that I mean, and to be fair, we've often frame our local attendance around the stores that treat us best. I'm willing to drive a little farther to the stores who prize better. Yep, because let's be honest, I mean, that's the big thing about why I drive to Viral. It's not the closest store to me by any stretch, but he does the best pricing. He prizes better than other stores, and to his credit, he prizes oftentimes to his own detriment. Like he doesn't make a lot of money on tournaments, but that's why when the set drops, we all go.
That's why we go and record at his shop and drop, thousands of dollars on.
I did just buy a Corsham and a Heart of Fandel from him because because honestly, I was trying to figure out how he's actually making money on his Flesh and Blood players with the prize support he gives us. It is actually he
doesn't
make money. Say one more time. It's freaking amazing. His prize support is amazing. I don't know. I'm like, I got to buy my cards from you because you have them sitting there. They look pretty.
And I want them. I pre-ordered from him, and it's like, I don't know what you're getting it from.
It's like Jason just pay me when they come in. I'm like, oh, sweet. I'll do that.
It's to me, I mean, that's the same reason that a lot of people make it when they go down to the south, right? Terrence does the same thing at TGG. That's a little farther drive for me, and the nights don't work as well. It's a really long drive for Jason. It doesn't make a lot of sense for Dane. For me, it's a little farther than going up to Viral, but he does the same thing. He draws on a really good player base. It's a very competitive player base, and it's because his prizing is very good, and he hosts multiple nights. Again, he does his one night of normal XP, and then his other nights are boxes.
The same thing that B's going to do.
Yep. Like he does give away prizes, and cash, and store credit, and things like that. He incentivizes the players to come play with prizing because he can't give enough Armory support.
But God forbid, it's two additional arbitrary numbers
XP
for wins.
Because then people would be grinding XP only at the one store instead of at home in their underwear in their computer chair.
That sounds kind of good. That's how I work on a daily basis. So I can relate to that.
I mean, to be fair, you could probably go try and play in your underwear. I just assumed that those stores would ask you to leave.
Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow, guys.
Yeah.
Tomorrow,
Saturday. Something tells me just be like, all right, cool. If that's what you guys want to do, like, I'll just sit in the back, put a sheet.
I'll be honest. I had no intentions of, because of what we're doing tomorrow, we're going to be grinding games all day. Had no intentions of really playing this weekend. And then B's like, well, there's a first place, Everfest box for our tournament on Saturday. I'm like, well, God, now I got to play that too, don't I?
2 boxes for first place, 1 box for second place.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for
Everfest
$30
legal.
Everfest legal, pack participation, pack per win.
Pack per win. You get 3 packs for entry, a pack per win.
Decks that everybody's going to be running is going to be amazing.
Yep. I'm just excited. Yeah, I'm excited to play. It's a great environment. They're doing a similar thing on Sunday. Again, funny enough, who's hosting the box tournaments this weekend? VCG and TCG, the 2 best stores for prizing in the city. TCG. Sorry, yeah, TCG. But again, that's where the players want to play. And I think that's the thing is they worked hard. They've got you could pre-register for their pro quests. And that's the way you want to play the game. I want to play like that. And I'm excited for Everfest because I get to go play in some tournaments with new cards. Like it's hype train
what's
time.
Funny is each store has their like regular group. Like they both have like their regulars that are always there. And then you'll get the crossovers like, what's he doing down here? What's he doing up here right now? What's he coming in for? This is our turf there, Southsider. What are you doing here?
Yeah.
So we've been hammering on our local stores a lot, which I'm sure that our national audience is really excited by and probably really interested in.
Good ideas to bring up across the world to your LGS.
We can also
of how to grow your business.
Help grow your LGS.
This has been Marketing Minute with the Outcast Haven podcast.
Marketing. This has been Marketing 34 minutes. Yeah.
But I mean, that's how you grow your player base and how you get people in the game is that.
Yep. Absolutely it is. So be sure to join us this afternoon. We're going live at 1 Central. And we're just going to we've got a bunch of boxes to open. So sorry, we are going to be doing like opening of boxes. I'm not even going to call them the BO words. But we're going to be opening.
We're going to get our cards out
our product
so that we can play with.
Yeah. And we're opening it to get cards.
But we're doing it and then going to be like building decks and just dicking around.
We threw it out to our community. To whoever wants to stop by and play. So it's not always going to be us. You're going to have to see.
People are going to show up.
Players that have done very well in a lot of national tournaments are going to show up and play in this. And it's just going to be very casual, throwing cards out. It's going to be a ton of fun, to be honest.
So if you're at work or if you're not able to crack your product as soon as you'd like, but you still want to see the cards get used. We're going to be throwing a whole bunch of silly shit together, trying out everything.
Use those cards.
Also, if you're just interested in commenting, because I think that's the thing too. Is I think a lot of people are kind of at that point where it's like, okay, I'm trying to get all the cards in my deck. I'm trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work before as these tournaments are ramping up. And I think tomorrow I think a lot of us have notes. Like I have notes in my phone of what cards are coming out of what decks and what cards are replacing them. So that way, as I open them, I could just start swapping them out and stuff. And I think there's a bunch that I was talking to Jacob earlier, and he said the same thing. He's like, I got my decks ready. I'm just opening them. I'm going to get my cards out. I'm going to put them on my deck. I'm ready to go. So there's going to be a lot of like testing on the stream. And I'm always interested to hear other people's thoughts, because that's one of the biggest things that interests me is always some of the interactions. I loved Ravewen. I don't know if you guys saw Ravewen's crazy interaction, which I was like, oh yeah, I guess it is pretty crazy. Is earlier he was pointing out, and again, this is probably something someone's like, oh yeah, duh, you do that. That's fine. You're smarter than me. I acknowledge that. But you play Gloomveil for just 3, right? You just attack with Gloomveil. Then you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use these creepers quick. Go and play this Revel in Runeblood. We're gonna make 4 rune chants.
Dude, don't be talking about Viscera. He's just gonna destroy people coming up.
I'm just saying you're gonna create those rune chants. You're gonna trigger all the effects on Gloomveil. going to get go again, all that. And if they decided not to block it, or they blocked it with one card and now you're going one over, all of a sudden you're like, boop, I booped you. And now you can't block the arcane. These 4 rune chants, they're coming in, baby. I got go again now. And you just go again, swing the old Rosetta. You got 6 arcane coming in. Can't block it because Gloomveil hit and a little 2 physical damage. Just like those nasty combos of cards. You're like, ooh, that's spicy. And I'm just interested in other people's things. Tune in for tune in on the stream, comment, be like, hey, check out this.
I hope people are there, because I am going to be asking for people's opinions. I want to know, like, hey, would you go with this? Would you go with that? Where are you feeling? I just hope we get, typical 30, 40, 50 people hopping in and out. And even if there's 8 to 10 that just want to sit and talk. And
if you got a job where you can just have it on, just make sure when you type into the comment section of us and not like your work chat during like a workplace meeting. You're on video. You're like, hey, have you tried Gloomveil in chain? And someone just goes, what are you talking about?
That is not the TPS report we are talking about right now.
Yeah. Is there some code that you're using? Is there some code that you're using in your shorthand that we're not using in the rest of the office?
What are these words?
You could kill somebody from 6 out with that. Okay, I don't know what that means, but we're gonna have one of the mental health professionals in HR.
Yes.
HR is gonna be calling you. We're gonna have you set up a meeting with someone.
Oh, it's so good.
Any final thoughts going into today, the rest of our product opening this weekend set?
I'll dream tonight that this will be my first Fable set. I could settle for a cold foil Bravo. That would be a good second place.
Yeah, I would love to open a cold foil Bravo just because I'll make money.
And then you would just be like, "What's up, bitches?"
I would just rip it in half right in front of you right now.
I'm not a big crier, but I may cry. I may cry if you do that.
I really was hoping I'd get a rise out of you guys with my comment in the chat. No one said anything to it though. I don't get what that meme was about. Like the guys, the little kid's face or whatever, and then the Bravo face.
I didn't think it was a little kid. I thought it was the fire breather who's like,
it was the fire breather chick. Like it's like it was a sexual thing.
They did the creepy side eye thing.
It's supposed to be funny. Just how Bravo's
it's supposed to be a funny sexual thing.
Oh,
I was like, and I just what's up now?
The fire breather looked like Benji, basically. I was just like, oh, so
maybe that's what Bravo's into.
A Bravo pedophile joke. Like,
2022.
Cool.
Maybe Bravo. I mean, are we sure Benji's like 15 and not just like one of those guys who doesn't age? Because some people just look young. Okay, Dane.
If we're gonna get in trouble, I was gonna get in trouble there. I stopped myself.
I am sure Bravo IDs.
Yeah,
everybody first.
So, well, the comment in the chat was, I was like, oh, is this supposed to be like a Bravo pedophile joke? Because it's like, we all know that, but like, why would someone point it out? And I was waiting for you guys to be like, he's not. No, Bravo's the best. I was gonna be like, you guys are too old. Chill.
He's a weirdo. He's a carny. He's a weirdo. He's just some weird carny.
He's into swinging his big hammer around and showing it off. That's what he's into.
Yeah. He's gotten more extravagant as the years have gone by, clearly, because when Bravo first showed up on the scene in Flesh and Blood, he was just this imposing presence guardian. And now he's just incredibly flamboyant. His mustache is like big and curly.
Yeah.
He's, really leaned into the
vibe
P.T. Barnum
Wraith.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's gone back to the carnival. He saved the world, and now he's just going back to hanging out at the carnival with his carny folk.
Yeah.
God love him.
All right. That's all we got. Join us in a couple hours for our live stream. I don't even know if we're going to do anything special for it. We'll probably just end up going live. So
we're going to go live. And then next week, we can talk about all the funky decks that we saw over the week. So get ready for comments. Oh,
dude, I want people to comment. Like, if you're listening to this because like you're doing other shit, or you're busy, or you're with family or whatever, and you can't play, or you can't like actually put your theory crafting to the test, comment what you want to see, because we're willing to try fucking anything. And if you're like, dude, these generic cards interact really goofy in Levia, I'd be like, yeah, sure, I don't give a shit. I'll build it, whatever. So, yeah, hit us up, and
100%.
we will talk to y'all next week with some new updates, and we got more gameplay. I'm sure we're gonna have some fucking weird gameplay. We're gonna put up a community post next week asking for what you guys want to see. So be on the lookout for that, and we will get your input and put out some gameplay based on that. And looking forward to just hanging out with you guys in a little bit. Peace.
See ya.